out of the shadows and into the light.
It's art time with Mr. Mayberry. Let's get busy.
Welcome to Art Time with Mr. Mayberry. Value is the relative lightness or darkness of a color. It's also one of the elements of art. Today we're going to be drawing a picture of light. For this project you'll need a black piece of construction paper, a white crayon, and the still life that we made last time. Let's get started. It's time to make some art. Last time we started the project by building a still life, and I used foam cups to build mine, and I just secured them with masking tape. Now you may have the still life that you made last week. If not, go ahead and start by putting together white objects for a still life. And the reason we're using white objects is because then we can focus on the light and the dark and not the color of the object. So the light and the shadows. We used a black crayon on a white piece of drawing paper or construction paper, either one. Drew it out and then used the crayon to shade in the areas of shadow. Today we're going to be using a black piece of construction paper and a white crayon, and we're going to be looking at and observing the areas of light in our still life. You'll also, for this project, you'll need a light source. Now I'm just using a desk lamp. You could use a spotlight if you have one of those. Now if you're working in a larger group, you might want to have one still life set up in the middle of the room with desk or tables around that everybody can see the still life. Or if you're able to, you might work in separate groups, and each group would have its own still life. Or if you're working by yourself, then you can just set up your own still life at your desk and draw what you see. So first thing I'm going to do is take my white crayon. I'm going to draw out these 3 styrofoam cups. I'm just going to start here at the top and just kind of sketch them in to begin with. And you draw what you see there in front of you. And I'm drawing first, sketching out the basic outline. So I have the top, it looks like an oval, and then I'm drawing the sides of the cup. And I'm starting off lightly, and then I'll make it darker as I go along. In this case, I'll make it lighter as I go along. Okay, there's a curve here at the bottom, and then I'm going to add the second curve that's below that, so this edge on the bottom of the cup. And look at what you're drawing. Don't just draw from what you know. You've done this drawing once before if you watched the previous program, which if you haven't watched that, you might want to watch it first, to drawing shadows before you draw light. Okay, so there's the outline for the top cup, and then I'm going to draw where it's sitting on top of the other 2 cups. That's okay if you don't have enough room on your paper. If you run off the edge of your paper, that's fine. Draw as much as you can of the still life. Now it may be possible if you have a much larger still life, you may want to just pick one smaller section of that and make it look big on your paper. But the idea is that we are sketching something out, drawing something out, that we can then look at how the light falls on the object. And that's what this is. It's a practice, it's an exercise in learning to draw something, and in this case we're noticing the light as much as we do shadow. When you're an artist, it's good to notice all the things about that you can, as much as you can, about whatever you're drawing or painting. It helps you to reproduce the picture of whatever it is you're making with accuracy. It helps you to be able to draw it so it's lifelike, which is an important skill to learn when you're an artist. Okay, so here's the 2 cups sitting here below. So now I have it sketched out, and now I'm going to go back and look at the light areas and where the light falls. Of course, the light will always be on the side of the object that is closest to our light source, and the shadows will be on the side away from the light source. So I'm going to start up here at the top, and I see light along the left side here, and I want to make it the brightest, closest to the edge, so I'm going to use the end of the crayon for that part. And then I want it to kind of gradually get darker as it goes around. So use the side of the crayon so it'll do that. And then I'm noticing there's a little bit of a light, strong light on this edge here. So I'm going to make that brighter along that top edge right here on the cup, this part right here. And also, you may not be able to see this on the screen, but up above here is a bright section right here on the inside of the bottom of the cup on the far side. Okay, bright here, and then also bright along this bottom edge too. And again, you'll be looking at your still life and drawing what you see. So it'll be about observation, not trying to necessarily duplicate what I'm doing right here, but you'll try to duplicate what you see in your own still life. And depending on where you sit in the room, it will look different from different angles. Some you might want to try to, when you actually decide where to sit, if you have that option, you might walk around the still life and find the place that has the most contrast in it, the most light and dark close together. Some side of the still life, one side will be all bright and one side will be all dark. So you might want to sit somewhere on the either the front or the back where you can see both light and dark. If you were sitting on this end, it would all look dark, or mostly look dark, and on this side it would mostly look light if you were sitting over here. So you have to make those kind of decisions as you decide what to draw, where you're going to sit, what viewpoint you want. Okay, so I have the top cup finished, and then I'm going to go ahead and I'll do work on this one here on the left. It's brightest right, again, like it is on the top one, it's brightest on the left side, that's closest to the lamp. And I see a little bit brighter on this back edge like I did that first one. There's also, I mean, this is really bright on this cup above, but it's kind of shadowy down below, so there's not much light there. Same kind of thing down here. Okay, and then I'm going to work on this cup right here. Now it's a little bit of shadow right underneath where this cup is on top of this one. There's a little bit of shadow back in here, also created by this cup being in front of the light source. So I'm going to leave it a little bit darker right here, come out a little ways, and then there's the light. The brightest part's right about here. And then it gradually gets darker as it goes around this side. And the brightest light at the bottom edge starts right about the same spot. And then down below it goes a little bit longer to the left. Okay. One other thing you can do to help create some more contrast and space within your picture is go to the outside edge along the dark edge of the cup. On the outside, I'm going to make it a little bit lighter on the outside. It doesn't have to really bright white, but if it's a little bit lighter than the dark edge of the cup, then that'll create some contrast there. So I'll do that all the way down. Just like that. Kind of fade it out to the side. And maybe a little bit on between the cups here. A little bit of light showing from the other side of the table. Just like that. And then it's brightest on the table on this left side at the bottom in front of the cup. Okay, just to kind of recap what we've done today. First, we set up the still life, trying to use white objects if you can. You need a spotlight of some kind shining on those, and then we're drawing with the white crayon on the black piece of paper. Draw it out. Add the light to the areas where you observe, where you see the light is on your still life. And that's our project for today, drawing light.
Now that you have a sense of how to draw light and shadow, look for ways that you can incorporate that into your artwork. Well, thank you for coming to art class, and I'll see you next time.
See you later. Hi, bye.
Chiaroscuro.